Welcome back to HangTime Headlines. I'm your host, Lucas. We got Drew in the building. How's it going, bro?
How you guys doing?
And we also got a very, very special guest with us, Austan Cristiaan. So, Austan Cristiaan is the #1 ranked quarterback prospect in the class of 2028. He is a 3-time champion at the Auburn University Punt, Pass, and Kick Championship, an offensive and defensive All-American, 10U national champion quarterback. He's attending camps at Florida State. As a 4th grader, he went up against 7th graders to win the Peyton Manning Award. He has a legendary 10-touchdown game this past fall. I mean, I've seen tape of him throwing bombs, and we are more than thrilled to have him join us on the HangTime Headlines podcast today. Austan, how you doing?
Great, man. How are you?
We're doing well. Super hyped to have you here.
Check the stats, dog. I can see the future with my mask off. Big hang time, I'm a blast off.
So let's get right into it. As always, like, comment, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. Try to run it up. First question, I mean, we really just want to go all the way back from the beginning. I just read a million awards. You're nationally ranked. You're clearly like a highly touted prospect at a really young age. So how did you even start playing football? When were you first interested? When did you first even get on a field? What was the come up like?
Well, it started since I was pretty much born. Me and my grandpa always threw the ball in the backyard, and he was a quarterback at Kent State. So I just grew up around football, and I just always loved the quarterback position. So I'm like, why not play it?
And your grandfather played at Kent State. Did you have any other relatives play football that have impacted you at all?
No, just him.
That's honestly so sweet. I mean, I'm super tight with my grandfather. He listens to all our podcasts. He played football actually at Ohio State. And to hear that you're being mentored by your grandfather, that is super sweet.
Was he a quarterback too?
Oh, yeah, he was. He was number 12.
Number 12?
Oh my God. Well, we're from Boston, and you know what number 12 means?
Ooh.
Tom Brady. So speaking of that, do you have a favorite quarterback, a favorite NFL team?
Yeah, my favorite quarterback is Dak Prescott, but my favorite team is also the Cowboys.
Cowboys, alright. I was going to say, you might be a Buccaneers fan. You like Tom Brady at all?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, we're obviously huge Tom Brady guys up in Boston, but he's down there in Florida now. How'd you become a fan of the Cowboys, though?
I always went to their stadium. I always liked their stadium. It was very nice to be around their team and stuff. And I went in their locker room for a tour for one of the games, and it was just the most amazing experience ever. It's just my favorite team. I like their colors. I like their players. They're all a really good team.
It's America's team.
Would you like to play for the Cowboys one day?
Oh, yeah. That'd be great.
You get to meet any of the players?
Only Dak Prescott.
Only Dak Prescott?
Yeah, only Dak Prescott. Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went to a camp with him.
How was he? Did you enjoy your time with him? I mean, I love Dak. I've been watching him since his days at Mississippi State. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks, in my early days getting into college football. And to see that you've met him, been around him, he's one of your favorite quarterbacks. What was that like?
It was just so cool to be around him. Doing the drills with him, always just he was checking out the players and stuff. It was just so cool. He's a great guy. He's just so much fun to be around. He has a lot of energy. It was just the most amazing experience ever. And at the end of the drills, the camp did a 7-on-7, and he drafted me to his team, and we played and had a lot of fun.
Did he give you some pointers too?
Yeah, a little bit about my timing and stuff and anticipation.
That's awesome.
So given we just talked for the last 5 minutes. You're a pretty good quarterback. When did you start to realize you were good? I mean, take me back. You get interested in football. When do you even start playing football? When do you start to realize, I'm kind of okay at this sport. I can play.
I always grew up around football, but when we went to camps, I started feeling a little bit more confident about myself and realizing how good I could be.
Have you played, in a team environment? When was your first time playing with a team, and what was that like?
It was great. My first team that I ever played for was the Hornets in Cypress Lake.
Is that who you still play for right now?
No, I play for my middle school team at the moment.
Ooh.
I'm in 5th grade right now, but for our school, which is kindergarten, 5th grade is a middle school for them, so I'm working out with the team.
Okay.
What was your guys' record? Were you any good? How did you play? When did you realize, I'm throwing bombs out here, I can pass the football?
Well, first, it was just, I don't really know. It was just like all around. I just kept getting better every day, and I just love competing around other people. Every time I competed, it just made me better mentally and physically. And I went against these other kids, and I kept like beating them out, and I'm like, wow, I'm really starting to get good at this.
And it must be a lot of hard work to get to the top. And, going into that, what does your training regimen look like?
Well, I go to my personal trainer, which is Ken Mastrol. He's really good. I've been with him for a long time, around 2 to 3 years now. He's helped me out a lot. And on the days that I don't have Ken, I'm going to my personal trainer, Matt, from Melt. He's really good as well.
So is it pretty much every day you have football stuff to do?
Yep.
How do you balance that with school? I mean, like, we got student athletes, but in 4th grade, I was not taking a sport this seriously. So to the other younger kids out there who are interested in playing sports at a really high level, how do you balance, being a quarterback who has all these responsibilities to train, but also, getting your work done in the classroom?
Well, it's really a challenge because, like, on the way to practices, I'm doing my homework in the car. But when I get home, I'm done with my homework and I hop on an online class with Chris Hickson on QBIQ. So it's just a balance, and you got to figure out a way for that all to work out.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, a lot of people have to follow that balance. Do you have, like, a meal plan that you follow? Or are you starting to get into weights? Like, I know you're obviously training, got to be throwing the football every day, but are you starting to take, that next step, hitting the gyms, eating right? Like, what are your thoughts on that area?
I'm training a lot, and I'm working really hard in the gym and lifting weights.
That's awesome. What type of weights are you lifting?
We do, like, all sorts. We do squats, bench press, deadlifts, and all that stuff. But
Wow.
I can't go too heavy because I'm still pretty young.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we figured, because we're benching, we're squatting, we're doing the same stuff, but, like, we obviously weren't doing that in 4th grade, so that's honestly just good to hear that you're doing, lightweight. Even, like, if you're doing no weight at all, you know how beneficial that is to when you're older and you have, like, the form completely right and your body's starting to mature and you can put some big boy weight on there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really great.
Do you have any, like, least favorite foods? Speaking of meal prep?
So my favorite food right now is like quesadillas, but like the main thing I eat like every day is peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Those are the best. I keep eating those. My mom makes the best ones, but I also love the Uncrustables.
I'm chicken nuggets, dude. Every day, chicken nuggets.
Nice. Those are good too.
Speaking of favorites, do you have a favorite memory of football? Like, when you think football, what is the one thing you think about?
Canton, Ohio. It was the Pro Football Hall of Fame Academy. It's a camp in Canton, Ohio, and they take you through the whole area of the Hall of Fame, and you just walk through there and see all these awards and see all this stuff, like the Lombardi Trophy and all these awards that these players have won, and that's like my ultimate goal. That's where I want to get to so very bad. So that's what I think of when I think of football. I don't think of just like throwing in the backyard. I think of getting to there.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that camp. Did you get to meet any legends while you were there, too?
Yes, Ron Woodson, he's a big one that it was nice to meet. I got an autograph from him, too. It was really, really cool.
We were talking earlier, you're in middle school, starting to play at that next level, and we've seen you at camps and colleges, Florida State. Are you starting to get recruited by high schools? Are you starting to even look at that? Have you talked to college coaches? What's that whole experience being like, having that exposure at such a young age?
For college, I've gotten a couple letters from Dan Mullen, and I've been talking to Kenny Dillinger, which is the OC for FSU. So those are the two colleges that I've been talking to. But for high school, IMG is a big one that I probably might go to.
Yeah, IMG makes a lot of sense. I mean, we've had kids from up here that will go all the way down to Florida just to go to IMG. So that's an ideal landing spot. But Drew here, as I mentioned earlier, he's from Miami. Seems like you're Florida.
Yeah, I don't quite know about FSU, buddy.
Where's the love for Miami?
I might have to change your mind on that one.
Support for HangTime Headlines is brought to you by Manscaped, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming, champions of the world. Manscaped offers precision engineering tools for your family jewels. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join over 2 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code HTH at manscaped.com. That's where I get 20% off and free shipping with the code HTH at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code HTH. Unlock your confidence and always have the right tools for the job with Manscaped. You know, even myself, from time to time, we'll take out 2K, take out Madden, we'll run a video game up or two. Are you playing any video games? What are your thoughts on that? Or are you just strictly work, no video games, I gotta be a quarterback and take it to the next level?
Well, I'm kind of off and on video games. When we're like not in season, I mean, we're taking a little break for like a rest week. I play video games a little bit, but mainly mostly football.
Mostly football? That's fair. What type of video games, though? Like Madden?
Yeah, I play Madden a lot. And
Madden.
I always play with my friends, which are, whenever I see them, the twins, Preston and Owen, they're all linemen. They're great. They're the best.
Yeah, they protect you?
I've probably ever met. But I also like kind of get at it with my brother when we're playing Madden. It's just like always competition with us.
I gotta say, I love how you're like shouting everybody else out. It's not at all about you. Like, you're constantly shouting out all these people who help you out. And, you know, that's awesome to see from, you know, a young guy like yourself.
Yeah, well, it's not just me. Like, I couldn't have gotten to this point without, like, everybody that's helped me. Like, my mom, she's taking me to all these camps. I can't really do anything without her.
I think we all feel the same way. Shout out to all the moms out there. We love you guys. We could literally not do it without you either. So that, at a young age, to have that understanding is honestly really eye-opening and incredible to see. The other thing, too, that I gotta mention is we know for a fact that a lot of NFL players play Madden. So, you never know.
Yep.
The Cowboys, your favorite team to play with in Madden?
Yeah. So
Yeah, Dak Prescott.
That slant route with Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper?
Slant route for them. It works every time.
Yeah, I feel you.
The Madden glitch.
The cheese.
Yep.
Back when we were younger, you used to be able to just run a pitch to the outside, touchdown every time.
Yeah, with like Adrian Peterson. He might still be playing when you get to the league, dude.
So in terms of just like other topics off the field, covered video games, you know, we've covered the training regimen. Do you have any music, you know, maybe you get hyped up before games? Like, do you have any favorite songs, favorite artists? Like, are you invested at all in that yet?
No, not really. Before games, QB's got to stay like cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. So I'm not trying to like put myself up listening to like all these rappers and stuff. But I don't really listen to music. I just kind of go over the game, all the possible like defenses that I could see. And then I watch film, so I like kind of prepare myself for the game. So I'm always thinking about that on the way to the game.
How much film do you watch? That's really interesting because there's not a lot of people at your age that are watching film on a consistent basis. I mean, nonetheless, in high school, it's hard.
Yeah, is there like a lot of film on the teams that you play?
Yeah, that was the issue that I was about to bring up. There's not a lot of films that you can watch, but it's also on YouTube because like some people from the teams, they have like parents and they film the games and the game film, so you just kind of gotta like watch that stuff and all the film that you can get.
And speaking of film, have you been playing lately with you know, Corona going on and all that?
Yeah, Corona has been a big thing, but a trainer, Matt, during COVID, he came to our house to train, so we never stopped. Because the grind never stops. We gotta keep going.
Yeah.
That's facts. That's great to hear. And can you just take us back a little bit and tell me, like, what was that like when COVID first hit? Like, was your trainer in your house immediately? Did you have any time where you had to be on your own and get the work in? And, like, how did you figure that out and work around it?
It took a couple of weeks for it started to get going while COVID was going on. So I did a lot of home workouts. Like, I made myself write down stuff on my board, which is on the wall over there. I wrote down, you gotta do 100 push-ups, 150 sit-ups, and then you gotta do a bunch of jump ropes, and then you gotta do a couple pull-ups. I just kept doing that every day.
Wow.
I mean, we got NBA players who can't even find a basketball hoop. And we got Austan Cristiaan who's finding a way to work out on a daily basis at home.
You must study plays a lot too. Do you have a favorite play? Favorite route to throw?
I have a favorite route to throw. I really like the post route. It's just like, it's in like the out route on the corners. Those are just so satisfying to throw. Like once you throw it, you just let the receiver go and get it, and it's just so satisfying. It just like fits right there.
Yeah, that out route, you have that perfect little pass to the sidelines. The post route, if a guy breaks open across the middle, hit him deep. I feel you.
Yeah.
I was thinking the go route too. You just like tossing them deep down the sidelines.
Yeah, so much fun.
And so I've seen pictures of you throwing some balls really, really far. One of my first questions that I had for you when we set up this interview was, how far can you throw the football?
Well, I can throw around 44 yards. I think that's my furthest, 44.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
That might be further than me. I'm telling you right now. There's a solid chance.
If I walked out onto a football field right now, there's
Yeah.
no chance I'd throw a 44-yard bomb.
Yeah. Do you have like receivers your age who can go up and get balls like that?
There's no one really like my age that's like always there, but there's always some older kids and younger kids like
Yeah.
Caden and Jaber, which are also my friends that I like to throw with a couple times, and a younger kid than me, which is Jitterbug, and we kind of always like find an open field and we get to throw around, and it's just like you always got to keep consistent with the people that you're around, so you can like never lose that groove. So if you're on the same team, you already have that like connection, so you don't have to worry about that.
I mentioned this in the intro, and speaking of passing, I saw that you had a 10-touchdown game. Do you have like a favorite game, a favorite throw that you've ever had?
That's kind of it. Like, the game before that, I had a terrible game. And then the coach let me have the opportunity to start again to, like, redeem myself. And I just went crazy because it's just fighting through adversity. Because the game before, I had a terrible game. It was, like, the first game of the season, and I was so nervous. But then I came out next game and did great. So that was my favorite game coming back from that bad situation.
Damn, that's an incredible experience. And, you know, the thing that people always want to know is there's ups and downs of being quarterbacks. You just talked about it. You had a bad game and you bounced back and had a great game. So I guess, you know, take us through a little more. Like, was there a tough moment in that game, a tough throw, a bad play? Like, what happened there? And I think it's really impressive to us that you faced this adversity and overcame it. But talk about, you know, the struggle a little bit, because that's the thing about sports. It's not always going to be great.
Yeah, and furthermore, not just about the struggle, but, you know, tons of kids have bad sports games. So how were you able to, you know, overcome it mentally and not dwell on it and come back the next game to have a really good game?
Well, to answer the first question, it was really hard that I felt like I let my team down, first of all. To have a really bad game and let them down and let all the coaches down. So I felt really bad about myself, but then the coaches came and talked to me, and my mom came and talked to me, and then I felt a little better. And then I gained my confidence back, and then I went out, and then I had a great game.
Was there something, like maybe a bad throw or something that you did in that game that then you kind of fixed for the next game? Like, was there an adjustment made?
Yes. It was all about, like, I didn't have, like, a connection with the receivers, and I just felt like I didn't really know what was going on. So I studied the playbook the night after that bad game, and I just went over and over it to get it right. So it took a while, but it eventually paid off with that next game.
And it's crazy, too, because, I mean, I'm just listening here, and you're watching film, you're studying playbooks. Like, has there ever been, like, an aha moment? Like, you see this on film or in a playbook, and then in the game you complete it? Like, what's that like?
Yeah, a really good moment is with QBIQ and Chris Hickson. I'm always on his classes, and he always shows me something and like how it works. And I go on the field and I see it in a game, and I'm like, wow, this works really well. And this is exactly what happened with the defense. So I'm like, I gotta keep following this, and I gotta keep going, because this is what's gonna help me get better.
That's just, I mean, it's so impressive to hear, and that's what people want to hear about, is just overcoming adversity. That's something that in sports, in life, everyone is going to face. I guess, you know, the last kind of tough question we have is, has there ever been a hardest hit that you've taken on the field? You know, maybe you got lit up one time and you were like, damn, he kind of popped me.
Yeah, I've had a couple of those games. I had a game where I was a quarterback. This one team, I can't really remember the team. Someone came off the end and they hit me really hard. And I'm just, wow, like, this is going to be a tough game. And this is probably what a lot of games are going to be like. So I just got to stick with it. But that hit really, like, kind of changed my view of football. Like, it's not really like they're going to just block for you. It's not going to be perfect every play. So sometimes it's always going to be a bad snap. Someone's not going to block. Someone's going to run the wrong route. I'm going to have a bad throw. It's not always going to be perfect. So you got to learn that really early.
Yeah, when you fall down, you got to get back up, right?
Yeah.
And Austin, you mentioned the offensive line there. That's something that I wish players understood at a younger age, is how important those men up front for you are. And I think you often see that, like, when you have a team like the Dallas Cowboys, who have had a great offensive line recently, it's going to lead to some success and make it a lot easier for the quarterback to do his job. And one thing I always wished was, like, when quarterbacks threw touchdowns, that instead of running through the end zone and doing all these crazy celebrations, they went to their offensive line and they were like, you did your job, you did your job, you did your job, you did your job, you've been in the trenches, like, thank you. Like, what are your thoughts on the offensive linemen?
I mean, I have no words. They're the main players on the team. They're the reason that the team is operating. Because people always think, oh, it's the receivers. I mean, the receivers are doing a great job of catching. But it's really about the O-linemen. They should get a lot more credit than they do. Because they do a lot more work than people think. And it's really hard to do their job. Because you always got to keep hitting every play. And you got to keep hitting and blocking the quarterback. And when the quarterback doesn't even thank you, it's like kind of like off-putting. Like you don't feel confidence. But when the quarterback thanks you, you got to feel like you got to keep doing your job. Because the quarterback like acknowledges your hard work. And he knows that you're doing a great job. So you just got to keep pushing.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's refreshing to hear. I don't think anyone else is ever going to say, like, oh, you know what I'm saying? It's not all about the wide receivers. I'm excited to see you making a big throw in a big-time college football game, big-time NFL game to a wide receiver, and then you go to your offensive lineman. Oh, my God. If I ever see that, I'm going to be just beyond words on my couch.
Wow, all right, yeah. I'm for sure going to do that. And I mean, I'm trying my best to keep doing that right now. Just thanking the linemen whenever I have a chance because they're doing a lot of hard work.
Yeah, no, the big boys run the team.
Have you ever, been injured at all? Have you had that moment yet where you've had to come back from that? If not, like, that's a part of football. You're going to get hit, as we've talked about. Like, what are your thoughts on that part of the sport?
Well, I haven't had, like, a big injury moment in sports, but, like, do you know what osteoarthritis is? It's a growing pain in your knee. Yeah, I had that, so it was just really hard to come back from that, and, like, you gotta keep pushing through it. It's just, like, kind of hard to push through an injury, because, like, sometimes when you're, like, sitting on the sidelines, it's, like, hard to, like, see your team keep going, and, like, you're just, like, sitting there, and you can't turn in.
Yeah, they're working hard, and you wish you could be out there working with them.
Yep.
Yeah, even through the good and the bad, I mean, you celebrate and you take the losses with your team. And I think that's what's so good about football. It is like the ultimate team sport.
Yeah. It's never about you. It's always about the team. If you do something good, even if it's just you, you always got to think the people around you before you think yourself.
Man, Austin, you are like humble, well-spoken. The highlights are out of control.
Hey, you're one of the maturest kids I have ever talked to.
All right. Thank you guys so much for having me.
We are so happy to have you on, so thank you so much for your time, and thanks for coming on HangTime Headlines. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Check out Austin. This kid is going to be something at the next level for sure.
Austan Cristiaan. Check him out, guys. We'll link him down below.
I just want to say thank you again so much. This was a great opportunity to talk to you guys.
Ballin' crazy with the hang time.